Happy Wisdom Wednesday, everybody. Good morning. I am so excited today. I'm Tony King, for those of y'all that don't know, designated managing broker for the great state of Texas with eXp Realty. And today I have the absolute pleasure. I am so jazzed. I'm so excited today. I get to interview the absolute legend of South Texas, Mr. Pat Hayes himself, the legendary. And yeah, he's come and he's going to tell us a little bit starting about himself and how come he's a legend, and then what he's doing to maintain that title and continue to crush it year after year, transaction after transaction, and build an incredible organization, which now I think is what, 4,000 or 5,000 agents in your organization?
Little over 5,200 and growing, baby.
5,200 and growing. Goodness gracious. Pat, I'll shut up. Tell us who introduce yourself to anyone that doesn't know you. For those like 3 people that have never heard of Pat Hayes, tell us who you are. Tell us about yourself, brother.
Well, yeah, first off, Tony, I just want to say, thanks for the invite. I appreciate that. And again, thanks for everything that you're doing. Couldn't do it, without you and your team. And so, for those of you that may not know me, Pat Hayes in Texas with eXp Realty, been selling real estate for a little over 10 years. Started my career at a small independent boutique brokerage firm where my first year I sold $3.2 million in production as a single agent, and then really found my passion selling real estate. And I wanted to go to the next level. And the only way for me to do that back then was to become a team leader, the traditional team leader, go hire a few buyers agents. And so that's what I did. I created the Pat Hayes Group that second year in real estate. And I focused on all the listings, whoever wins with whoever has many for sale signs in the yard is going to win. And so I focused on taking listings and hired 2 buyers agents. And that second year, we did $12.5 million in production my second year in real estate in San Antonio, Texas. And so with that boutique brokerage firm, having a lot of fun, making great money, really learning a lot as well, too, being so fresh, 2 years in the business. And then, I actually got a life-changing phone call about 7 years ago from my mentor, my sponsor at eXp, Scott Lewis, wanting me to have an open mind to take a look at a new business model that was disrupting the real estate industry and changing the way that agents were being compensated. And so I said, sure, I've got an open mind. And I had never heard of eXp, right? Never heard of eXp. And so I wanted to know my competition coming into my market. And so I took the phone call and, watched a few short videos, as everybody says to do. And I was really intrigued, really saw the business model, and saw that it was a disruptive technology in the real estate industry, in the real estate space. And so took another meeting, actually got a chance to meet the legends Gene Frederick and Rob Flick, along with Scott Lewis at that meeting in December of 2015 with my dad. And we saw the model, and we heard their stories, and we were just absolutely blown away with what they had to share with us about eXp, why they left all their big franchises and came out of retirement to grow this little company back then called eXp. And so I saw it and I jumped straight in, left that boutique brokerage firm, hopped straight over to eXp back in December of 2015, brought my small sales team over. And since then, fast forward, I've been able to personally sponsor about 65 agents to the organization that has grown into over 5,200 agents spanning 47 states, 5 Canadian provinces, in 16 countries. And growing. And so it's only the beginning. We're just getting started. We're having fun. I still sell real estate. I love growing a company that I'm a shareholder of, and helping other agents grow their business as well, too. Right. Right now we're in a little shifting market. It's already shifted, and from the feedback out in the field, it looks like we're starting to get some traction in the market again, having multiple offers again, which is great. Spring and summertime is coming around the corner. But I love to help agents get their business off the ground and show them what I've done. Taking my business from 0 to $3.2 million my first year, and then from 3.2 to 12.5 million. And I didn't really have a lot of coaches. I didn't have a lot of technology or anything like that. Now that eXp has, I wish I would have known eXp whenever I first got started. But I got here as soon as I can. But man, it's a pleasure to be here at eXp. I love the leadership. It's truly family. Everybody says, this is kind of one big happy family, as Brent Gove says, one team, one dream, team eXp. And that's truly what it is. And, I can't wait to see where we're going to be as a company the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Brent Gove says that we're going to be, 1 million agents strong, doing business in over 40 plus countries. And I definitely see us on the right track. And I can't wait to be a part of it. And I can't wait to help grow it. So that's a little bit about me.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love that. And we're certainly headed towards that path with agents like you. But this is not just about EXP. So I know that hey, we're streaming this on YouTube, we're streaming this in LinkedIn, we're streaming this all over the place. Maybe not just for those EXP agents. What I want to backtrack to is you went from 0 to 3 million, right? Your first year in real estate. So can you unpack that? And probably we'll take two paths, Pat. So we'll do one from that 0 to 3 million, and then I also want to hear that the other story from that 3 million to 12. But let's start with the 0 to 3. What did you do that made you so successful? What did you learn in that first year?
Yeah, so kind of taking it back just to kind of get you up to the story here. So, I really didn't have a lot of money whenever I got into the real estate industry almost 10 years ago. I had just sold a business that I grew for 3 years up in Austin, Texas. It was a senior home care franchise, Caring Senior Service. My dad was the CFO of the whole entire organization. I bought it as an investment, grew it for 3 years, ended up selling it, had a nice sale. And then I had a buddy come to me and was looking for some capital, looking to raise some money for a digital media marketing startup company. I was looking for $300,000. And so I actually had that money from the sale of my other company. And so I was looking to invest in this digital media marketing startup company alongside of starting my real estate career. And so I ended up losing that $300,000 investment within about 6 months.
Wow.
Very, very heartbreaking within about 6 months. And so I didn't have a lot of money starting off in growing my real estate business. I couldn't go and spend, $2,000 or $3,000 a month on Zillow or Realtor.com to, start generating all these leads. I couldn't afford to go hire all these big coaches to help me get my real estate business off the ground. So what I did is I went back to the basics. I started doing open houses 7 days a week.
Wow.
To help me grow my real estate business. I actually partnered up with, back then it was Ryland Homes. Since then it's been sold. And I partnered up with the sales associate, Tim Hinojosa. Actually, Tim's actually an EXP agent now here in San Antonio with us. And so I partnered up with him. I said, hey, listen, I'm a hungry agent. I'm a broke agent. I don't have a lot of money. And I am looking to do open houses for you, for your inventory homes and for your model homes 7 days a week. And he literally looked at me. He said, you're crazy. Realtors don't do open houses 7 days a week. I literally had a truck. I had all the signs in the back of my truck, about 30 or 40 open house signs and all the balloons and everything. I said, hey, I'm ready to do it right now. Hey, let's partner up. Let's do this together. Let's sell some houses together. And it was in a great neighborhood and a great location. And so that's literally what I started to do. I literally started to do open houses 7 days a week. It was about anywhere from Monday through about Thursday or so. I would set up my signs about 3 p.m. and I would catch the afternoon traffic, from the commute home, from the people looking to buy or sell a house. And so I would sit there till about 7 o'clock or so, and then Saturdays and Sundays I would get there about 9 o'clock, and we would literally have the whole entire neighborhood open until about 6 or 7 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. And I got so many leads, so many buyer and seller leads from doing the open houses 7 days a week. And then I had to go down to 6 days a week, and then to 5 days a week, and then to 4 days a week, then 3 days a week. And then I could just only focus on the weekends because I was out showing houses from the leads that I received from doing the open houses during the week. And so that's how I was actually able to catapult my business from 0 to $3.2 million in my first year. And I'll never forget my first closing. It took me 6 months. I met a buyer at one of the open houses, literally taking down the signs, had my realtor badge on, and he rolled down the window, pulled up next to me, says, hey, are you a realtor? I'm looking to buy a house in the subdivision. I said, absolutely. I just got done doing an open house. Let me take down these last few signs and I'll help you, show some houses. And so I actually ended up getting my first sale from taking down. He didn't even come to my open house. I was actually literally stopped on the side of the road, taking down my open house signs. And he came up next to me and said, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. And so that was actually my first sale. It took me 6 months to close about a $250,000 home. But, that was my first sale. And that's what helped me get to about $3.2 million my first year.
That is absolutely incredible. So let's fast forward. At this point, Pat, how many open houses would you say that you've done in your career?
Oh, goodness, God, I would probably have to say, I'd probably have to say at least over 200 or so plus.
200 open houses. Now, listen, y'all, success leaves clues. You know, that's my reoccurring theme here. Success leaves clues. Pat has been absolutely crushing it, doing open house after open house. So after 200 of them, of course, there's a right way to do things. There's a wrong way to do things, right? What's the right way to do an open house? I'm sure you can
yes,
tell us that.
Absolutely. Well, it all starts with, with signs. Yes, you can promote it all over social media and all that good stuff. But 9 times out of 10, the traffic that you're going to generate from house is going to come from your signs, from your bandit signs, from your for sale signs, or from your open house signs. And so I don't just do an open house from Saturday or Sunday from 2 to 4. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go put out 40 open house signs, bandit signs, all across the neighborhood, blanket all of the intersections, and then I'm going to stay there at that open house. 9 times out of 10, some of these open houses are vacant, so I can literally just camp out there, from about 12 p.m. until about 7 p.m. or so. And that's what I did. I would literally do open houses Saturdays and Sundays, find a vacant house that's a nice, attractive house in a nice neighborhood, nice area, nice price point, that's not too far into the neighborhood, that I could put about 40 open house signs directing to that open house. And I would literally sit there Saturdays and Sundays from about 12 until 7 p.m. And I would get 20, 30, 40, 50 people plus through these open houses on the weekends.
Absolutely love it. So you mean to tell me that putting like one sign in front of the house is not enough, or maybe two signs, one in the entry to the neighborhood and then one at the house, and everyone's driving around trying to figure out what the heck? No, and then they end up stopping at another agent's open house because they thought it was yours.
That's right. And that's a funny story though. Is I was literally trying to find an open house the other day from an agent that was doing one. I'm not going to say the company though, but another company. And literally, I got lost trying to find my way to the house because there was not enough signs. I finally got there, but I said, "Oh my gosh, this poor agent only has like 4 signs out there, and this house was way back in the neighborhood." And just think of the amount of buyers that he probably lost just because the buyer, got frustrated and just said, "Hey, I can't find this house. I'm going to move on." And so that is the key to having a successful open house. Is these signs are cheap. You can get 30 or 40 signs for less than a few $100 on Amazon, and just put them out. And yes, maybe a few or so might get stolen. I've had a few get stolen before, but that's a good problem to have. If they're stealing your signs, you're doing something right. You're doing something right. And so I just love to blanket the neighborhood and have fun with it, and turn on all the lights, open up the garages, and have some music playing, and have my flyers, and just have fun. These buyers could be walking through there, and you never know. What they're looking to do. They could be looking to move into the neighborhood. They could have a friend that's looking to move into the neighborhood. They're looking to maybe sell a house and maybe upgrade into the neighborhood. So you get 2 transactions right there. And I've done that, quite a few times, meeting buyers at open houses. And they said, "Hey, listen, we're not working with a realtor. We're looking to sell our house that we've been in. It's our first house that we bought 10 years ago. Now that we have 2 or 3 kids, we're looking to upgrade. I need you to sell our house. And then can you help us find another house?" Absolutely. And if that house is not the right one for them, that I'm doing the open house at, hey, let me set up a search. Let me find you another house that fits your needs. So I love open houses.
That is absolutely incredible, Pat. And to kind of even dovetail that a little bit more. So we talked about how many signs you need to have out. Is there something special that you're doing with your signs besides just the number? And I know that sometimes a quantity is a quality all its own, right? That old phrase. But is there anything that's specific that you do with your signs to make them stand out? Do you balloons? Do you do the big stand up, like the 6 foot tall ones? Like what are you doing to make those signs stand out?
Yes, all the above. All the above. The more noise you can have, the more attention, the more followers you're going to get. So absolutely, I do open house signs. I do balloons on them. I do the big open house sign, the big banners in the front yard. I do the balloons. I make it a party. I want to have fun. And if these buyers and sellers see that this is a fun atmosphere, they're going to kind of let their guard down a little bit and talk to you, and be a little bit more open to you. And help them with with their needs. And so yes, all the above. A ton of open house signs, a ton of balloons, and get out there early. I always like to get out there. If I'm going to do an open house from 12 until 7, I put up my signs around 10 or 10:30 or so. Because it does take you some time to put up your signs, and I want to make sure that they're strategically placed correctly. Pointing towards towards the open house, and just have fun with it too. And that's what it's all about. It's having fun. And just meeting, these are free leads, right? These are free leads. And I tell agents all the time, get into open houses. These buyers and sellers that are walking through, yes, they may be working with a realtor. Hey, that's fine. But 9 times out of 10, they're just going to be driving on by. Hey, let's stop in after church or after lunch or on the way to dinner or whatever it is. You may meet them at the perfect time, and they're not working with a realtor, right? And there's your time to build that relationship with that buyer or seller, and help them with their with their real estate needs.
Love it, love it. And I think that, one thing that we'll talk about a little bit too is that make sure when you're putting your directionals out and you're pointing people to the house that they are in both directions, right? Don't just get them coming in from one way, but get it
That's right.
coming in from both major
Yep.
roads, and pointing, appropriately to help them find the open house.
That's right. Absolutely.
So now, and you kind of alluded to this, so let's walk into the door then. What does your open house look like from the inside? Because I mean, I wish I was at one of your open houses right now. You make it sound like a party, you make it sound like it's a fun place to be, you make it look like a fun thing. So what are you doing to stand out as far as the open house itself, and what's the strategy, the thought process behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, the first thing that you do is, flip on all the lights, get that natural sunlight coming in, open up the blinds, flip on the lights. And I have a bunch of flyers that I print out in regards to that specific open house, everything about the house there. And I literally bring a table, a folding table and some chairs, and I set up sometimes inside the house, depending on the house, or sometimes I set up in the garage so I can see and greet, the potential buyer and seller whenever they pull up, and greet them with a flyer. Ask them, hey, what brings you out and about in the neighborhood today? What brings you to the open house today? Are you looking to buy or sell? Are you looking to, upgrade, downgrade? Are you working with a realtor? If not, hey, listen, I would love to, help you out. If this house is not the right one, I would love to set up an MLS search for you, and help you, help you find that house. I work with preferred lenders. I've got my whole team ready in place, ready to help you out. And so, have some music on as well too. I've baked cookies before at open houses, and have that nice little smell coming in. Of course, depending on time of year, towards the holidays, bake some cookies, have some nice little soothing music on. Have all the lights on. The windows open, the blinds open, have that natural sun coming in, and just have fun with it.
Love it. I love it. So, and I'm glad you said some soothing music, right? Because I don't want people out there with like thrasher music and like,
No. Yeah. We're not at a
you got to be
a
careful.
rap party. We're not at a rap
right.
party.
That's right. So it's got to be some nice, smooth, and cool music that's very welcoming. So that's great. So talk to us a little bit about the follow up, or is this a part of kind of the second piece of that $3 to $12 million piece, or at what point did you start the follow up after the open house?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, I would get a ton of leads, at these open houses, and of course, I would follow up, with them, a few days after. I don't really bombard them, right, on that Monday or so. If I met them on a Sunday, give them a few days or so to kind of decompress and relax. Sometimes they'll reach out to me saying, hey, they're ready for a search. If not, I'll just kind of, give them a few days or so to decompress, and I'll follow back up with them, just reminding them, hey, listen, you met Pat Hayes at 123 Main Street on Saturday or Sunday at the open house. I've got your information here. What did you think about the house? Was that the right one? If not, I've got your information. I'd love to set up a search. No hassle. Just let me know kind of your wish list of a house. Bedrooms, bathrooms, price point, area, and when are you looking to potentially buy or sell? Do you need to sell another house first? And get all their information, and then set up their searches for them, and let the MLS send them the properties, and just kind of keep in touch with them. But that's how I grew my business from the $3.2 million to the 12.5, because I would literally still do open houses. Yes, I was selling a lot of deals, but I was starting to build my my referral business. I was starting to build my clientele business, and so then I would start getting other potential buyers and sellers from my past clients, and they would refer me some of their friends and their family, and then I would get a listing, and then of course, what would I do? I would do another open house, right? And so I was the listing agent, on my team, and I had two buyers agents, and so my goal was to have as many for sale signs in the yard in San Antonio as possible, so then I could get buyer calls from those, from my sign calls, and then I would give those leads to my buyers agents. And then my goal was to keep on doing open houses, to keep on getting listings from sellers and buyers that were, looking to upgrade or downgrade. So I would get that new listing from that open house. Then I would put a sign in the yard, lockbox on the door, take that listing, and then I would schedule another open house for them. So it's kind of a domino effect, right? So I would be doing one open house, that I got somehow, and then I would have, a buyer seller come in through, to the open house, and then I would get another listing from that one open house, and then I would take that listing and do another open house there, and then hopefully potentially get another buyer or seller through that open house, or potentially sell that house while I was doing the open house. I've done that several times, and then take another listing and have another sign in the yard. So that was kind of my ultimate goal, was to just have as many signs in the yard as possible. So for one, I could have listings, and then for two, generate a ton of buyer leads for my buyer's agents, so I could feed them the buyer leads, and that's how we reached $12.5 million in 2 years.
And as a part of that, you're also building your database, right?
Absolutely.
It's because all these folks. So 2 weeks ago on our Wednesday Wisdom on the same podcast, we had Stephanie Stone, who's an absolutely phenomenal CRM KV core specialist, crushing it. And I'd love to ask you as well. So how important would you say a CRM, a good CRM, is towards building a business like this? Because if you're doing 7 open, if someone's going to take your advice, right, go out there, say, look, in the next 12 months, I'm going to do 3 million. After that, I'm going to do 12 million. I'm going to do exactly what Pat did. I'm going to follow his footsteps. Success leaves clues. That's what this thing's all about. How important is the CRM in that process? If you're doing 7 open houses and getting 20 leads each, it starts to stack up on you.
Man, it's huge. It really is. You guys, you got to get organized and stay organized. And so, my first year, whenever I did the 0 to 3.2 million, I didn't really have any CRMs. I was literally using sticky notes and notes in my phone, and I had stuff on my whiteboard. I had stuff in my everywhere, right? Everywhere. And then, I met some people, and they said, hey, listen, you need to get a CRM. And so that, I ended up getting a CRM and housing all of those contacts and email addresses and phone numbers there in my CRM, so I could drip on them and keep in touch with them and go back to them and call them and follow up and stuff like that. And so, the best CRM that I could tell these agents is, the one that you're going to use and the one that you're using. That's the best CRM, right? And I know EXP, offers, KV Core, which is absolutely amazing. I love it. We generate a lot of leads for KV Core and also for a lot of my agents as well too, to help them get exclusive buyer and seller leads. And so, my second year, whenever I started to make some good money and then was doing open houses, I was able financially to invest into Zillow leads. And I got a few leads, but then again, looking at the ROI, I felt like spending $1,200 a month on leads, and not really getting quality leads and not exclusive leads. I ended up pulling back, and then that's whenever I found EXP Realty, my third year, coming off of my second year, my third year, and they had KV Core, and then I was able to learn how to generate free exclusive buyer and seller leads by using the system, right? And so that's a big game changer, right? That's a huge game changer. And this is a funny story. 1 month before I was getting ready to leave my boutique brokerage firm and go to EXP, my lender at the time, he wanted me to partner with him in another lead gen system and another CRM called Boomtown. Very, very, very expensive, but yet, it can generate a lot of leads. Well, my monthly portion was going to be over $1,000, and he was going to do the other $1,000. We were in it for $2,000 a month. And I don't know what happened, but I was just a little hesitant to pull the trigger and sign that 12-month contract. And thank goodness I didn't.
You think? Yeah.
Because the next month I found EXP, and they gave me KV Core for $50 a month, which is the exact same system, I think even better. And now I'm able to, generate exclusive buyer and seller leads, not only for me, but for my team as well, too. And so, yes, having a CRM system is definitely key. I know, if you're not with EXP, a lot of agents, it's very expensive outside of EXP, to get a good CRM system, but definitely invest in it. And I can tell you, it'll definitely make your business run a lot smoother and give you a lot less headaches.
I love that. I love it. So back to the open house strategy, right? That explains where all the buyer leads come from. And I guess before we go down that path of listings, which we're going to come to, but I want to ask you, for those agents that, don't have any listings, they're like, oh, I don't have any listings. How am I going to get open houses? What's your response to that?
Yeah, great question is, get out there and actually go door knocking. It's crazy. I've sold houses literally going door knocking in a neighborhood. I had a buyer one time, and they said, hey, this is the neighborhood that I want. I want a 1-story in this neighborhood. So we had about maybe about 400 or 500 houses in this neighborhood. We narrowed it down to about 200 1-stories, and I literally went door to door to door to door, knocking on the doors, letting these homeowners know that I have a buyer ready to go, pre-qualified, ready to go, wanting in this neighborhood, ready to find a 1-story. Are you looking to sell your house? And I've sold several houses doing that. And then also while doing that, I had a few people say, hey, you know what? We're not looking to sell right this second, but in about 3 or 4 months or so, we're thinking about putting our house on the market. We want to take advantage of the spring market or the summer market. Call us back or come visit, stop on back by, and let's talk about listing the house. And so that's how
Wow.
I got the listings as well too, right? And they're free. I didn't have to go spend $1,000 a month on Zillow. I didn't have to go spend $1,000 a month on Boomtown. It's literally I wanted to do what worked, and I took it back to the basics, and it's free, right? And so I
Wow.
got a ton of leads, a ton of listing leads, just by doing some door knocking, right? Get out there. Sometimes these agents, oh, it's too hot, or they're always making up excuses, or it's too cold or too hot, or oh, well, you know what? Hey, you get to get out and meet some of the neighbors, anyways. You're dressed up professional, wearing your name badge, have some business cards, have some flyers, and just get out there and own that neighborhood. Right, be the listing king in that neighborhood, and just let everybody know, hey, listen, I've got a buyer. I'm walking the neighborhood. Don't think I'm crazy, but I'm looking for a house. For my buyer. There's no inventory here in the neighborhood, so I'm going to be knocking on doors and shaking hands and meeting people and seeing if I could sell a house or two today. And they're like, wow, that's the agent that I want listing my house. That's the agent that I want negotiating a contract with me, because he's out there hustling, right? He's out there pounding the pavement. And he's not just sitting there behind the desk and hitting the phones. He's actually out there sweating, on a summer Saturday, whenever it's 95 degrees out there, full sun, and I'm out there hustling, right? And I enjoyed it too, because I got some exercise, and I got to meet a lot of people. But that's how I got a lot of listings as well too, just by kind of doing some door knocking.
That's good. And success, again, leaves clues. Success, it comes to those agents that will do things that other agents won't do.
That's right.
So if you're at home right now and you're like, oh, it's too much work. Yeah, you're probably right. It is a lot of work. You're going to have to get off of your tail and actually walk down and knock on some doors. But you're going to be able to close 3 million, 12 million plus. You're going to be able to build an organization now that is 5,200 agents strong. If I told you that was on the other side of the mountain, would you climb it? So yes. that's so incredible, Pat. Thank you for sharing that. I love the fact that you mentioned that when you're knocking on that door in the heat or in the cold or in whatever, that is also an opportunity. Maybe not today, right? Because we don't want anybody slipping and falling, or when this ice. Right. But the homeowner's impression of you has just gone through the roof, and they're saying, hey, this is the agent I want to sell my house, right? Now, does that translate as well to the open house that you're hosting, when they can see all the signs out, when they can hear the music, and it's a party in there, and you got cookies and this other stuff? Does that translate to that as well, Pat?
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you this success story real quick. Is I was doing a open house in Rockport, Texas, for one of my buddies, Robert Binky, with EXP in San Antonio. He just got done doing a huge remodel on a flip house, and took him a whole year. Him and his whole crew just completely remodeled the whole entire house. And so I said, hey, listen, I'm going to help you do some open houses down here. And beautiful house, almost $1.9 million house. Of course, it's vacant, but completely remodeled. Brand new pool on the canal, water view, beautiful house, great neighborhood, quiet neighborhood. And I was doing some open houses 2 weeks ago, and on Sunday, of course, I put out my 30, 40 directional signs out there. Put a bunch of signs in the front yard.
Hang on, time out. So you're still doing this? Am I hearing you correctly?
Yep. And I'm going to be doing 2 more open houses this Saturday, this Sunday at the same open house, or the same house there for him this week. And it's supposed to be beautiful weather. Sun's going to be out, and so I can't wait. I'm super excited about that. And so I was actually out in the garage talking to another couple that just came through, and another buyer comes up, parks his truck kind of across the street, and he goes, "Wow, I wonder where the open house. Wonder where the open house is at," because he saw, he's just kind of making a joke, like, "Wow, we saw 40 signs, and there's 5 signs in the front yard right here that just says open house. Which house is it? Obviously, it's the house that we were at, though. But that Sunday alone, just that one Sunday 2 weeks ago at that open house, I generated $1.1 million in business. I had a neighbor across the street come over to my open house, wanting to take a look to see exactly what the house looks like now after the renovations. And he said, hey, I just had a death in the family. I don't have a realtor. I'm looking to move to Florida. Can you list my house? Absolutely. I said, I'll be done at this open house at 6:00. I'll be right over there at 6:15 after I close it down and pick up my signs. I'll be right over there at 6:15. I got a $750,000 listing from a nosy neighbor, as I call him. Wow. A nosy neighbor, right? And then about 2 hours before that, I had another buyer walk through, another couple walk through, looking. They're in a rental property right now. They're looking to eventually buy a house, here this year or so. Their lease is up in a few months or so, but they really kind of just started the process. And they got to the house and said, "Wow, this is just way too big for us. It's way out of our price range. 1.9 million. But we wanted to come and see the house and meet you because we don't have a realtor." And I said, "Well, I'm your man." I picked up $350,000 buyer lead at the open house, $1.1 million on a Sunday, having fun, and it was free leads. That's $30,000 in commission, guys. $30,000 right there. And I'm going to be taking the listing here pretty soon. I already got the search set up for the buyer to help them find their house. Already connected them with my preferred lender, and we're going to get them pre-qualified, and we're going to get them a house here within the next few months or so. That's how you do it. That's having fun. And I can't wait to do my open house again this Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to set a goal. I want to try and collect $2 million in business. This Saturday, Sunday, free leads right there, right? Free leads, and you're having fun, right? And then whenever it's dead there, if there's nobody there, then I'm working. I'm on my phone, right? I'm on my phone. I'm talking to agents about EXP. Whatever I need to do, I'm still working, right? And so don't think that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so bored of this open house. Heck, I bring my laptop. I bring my Wi-Fi. I sometimes I'll watch football games there. Whatever it is. I do other Zoom calls there. Whatever. If no one's there, hey, I'm gonna keep on working. So don't think that you're going to be wasting a whole day. From 12 to 6 or 12 to 7 if only a few agents or a few buyers or sellers come through, because you know what, use that time wisely and still work while you're there. And so that's kind of what I do, and I really love it because it's quiet time, right? There's no background noise, there's no children running around, there's no dogs running around. It's quiet time, and you can focus and you can have fun as well too and sell some real estate.
Wow. And one other thing to add on that, and to one way to leverage that time while you're at that open house, if if it's slow, you don't have a lot of guests, you can always pull out your phone, you can stream, you can shoot a video and then share that on social media. You can share it to anyone that is in your pool of buyers, that's in your pipeline. Hey, I'm at an open house right now, you should come and see it. Come take a look. I'm out in the neighborhood that you want to be in. This is a great neighborhood for you, I think. So let's come on out. This open house ends at 3:00. I'd love to see you at 4. Right. So having those kind of conversations, that I think is great. So let me ask you, Pat, you said 1.1 million.
1.1.
And how long was that open house? How long did it take you and let me rephrase it, right? How long did it take you to earn that, right? But between those two, the 350 and then the 750, how long was that?
That was probably within about I'd say a 2-hour time frame right there.
So earned $1.1 million at an open house within
2 hours. It was crazy. It was crazy.
So what do you say to agents that say open houses don't work?
I tell them my stories. I said, hey, listen, what do you mean open houses don't work? I just picked up $1.1 million in business last Sunday at an open house within just a few hours. And it was free. I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to pay $1,000 to Zillow. I didn't have to pay $1,000 to Realtor.com, right? They came to me and I connected and built that relationship. And I've got now $1.1 million ready to go. And so, they work. They work. And another thing, let me dovetail on this too about shooting videos is I had one of my EXP agents actually come to the open house 2 weekends ago whenever I was doing it, because she wanted to go ahead and shoot her own video as well for her social media, right? And so the house was open, looked beautiful, lights on, a beautiful sunny day, and she was shooting videos to put on the Instagram, to put on the Facebook, right? So letting everybody know, hey, listen, this is not her listing, but hey, I've got a beautiful listing here ready to go. If you're looking to buy, hey, let me help you buy, and so that's what she was doing. And so she use open houses, you can use open houses so many different ways, to build your business and to generate free leads. Agents just don't do it. They're lazy. Lazy. How bad do you want it, right? How bad do you want it? I want it bad, and I enjoy it. That sense of accomplishment, whenever you're taking down those signs after getting $1.1 million in new business, it makes you feel pretty good, right? It makes you feel pretty dang good.
For 2 hours.
Knowing that it was a very successful day.
That's incredible. So what are some of the because you have a huge team now and a team that's just kind of crushing it. So what are some of the apprehensions that you hear or excuses or complaints about agents looking to go down this path of open houses for lead generation? What are maybe the top 3 excuses?
And this is that's a great question. Is they can't find a house. And I said, hey, listen, there's so many houses out there for sale. We're EXP. We have a lot of signs in the yard. Get with them, go to MLS and go get a nice little, $2 or $3 or $400,000 house. I like preferably vacant, so you can do them for a long time because it's kind of hard to, kick the seller out all weekend. From 12 to 7
7
or so,
hours.
Saturdays and Sundays. And so I like a vacant house, a nice one. That's kind of updated in a nice area, nice neighborhood, not too far back in the area, in the neighborhood. And so if they can't find it themselves, then I'll get on MLS and I'll help them. And I'll call up some other, EXP agents. I'll make some posts, in our San Antonio group, in our Texas group, hey, listen, anybody have a listing that, needs an open house done this weekend? Let us know. I'll start there first. And if not, then we'll go to MLS and, really kind of start searching and, see what other EXP agents, have on the market. But that's kind of the main issue is they have the hardest time finding an open house. They say, I don't have a listing. Hey, you don't have to have a listing, right? The house that I'm doing the open house at, for my buddy, it's not my listing, it's his listing, but I'm going to help him, market it. I'm going to help him do the open house because he can't do it. Right. And so I'm here to help him do that. And he's in my revenue share organization as well too. So, it helps us all. I would say number 2 is time. They say, oh my goodness, you do them Saturdays and Sundays. That's a whole weekend from 12 to 7. That's just 12 to 7. That takes 2 hours before. So it's really 10 until about, 8, sometimes, 8:30 or so, taking down the signs. Last Sunday, I was at my open house until 6 o'clock. I actually ended an hour early just because of the football games. But I was literally at the open house taking down my open house signs in the front yard while I had buyers still there. It was crazy. It was crazy, right? Wow. And so I was waiting on them to leave so I could leave, right? And so the time commitment, and I tell them, hey, how bad do you want it? You're wanting to sell more deals. You're wanting to take your business to the next level. And I'm trying to teach you and coach you how to do it for free. You've got to put some time commitment in, right? How bad do you want it? And I said, hey, listen, we'll get some other work done while you're there too. You don't have to just sit there and feel like you're wasting a whole weekend. Right. I look at it as, oh my God, it's a beautiful weekend. I'm going to be there all day Saturday, Sunday, right? I checked the weather forecast the other day. I saw it's going to be sunny this whole weekend. It's going to be beautiful. I'm ready. And I told my buddy, hey, listen, I'm going to be doing open house Saturdays and Sundays, from 12 to 7. Start advertising, and that's what we've been doing. And so, how bad do you want it? Yes, it's going to take some time. I get it. But, hey, you don't have to do the whole weekend. Hey, do one day, do Saturday, do Sunday, whatever it is. But don't do it 2 to 4. Do it from like 12 until 6, 12 until 7. If you're going to get out there and put open house signs in the yard, in the ground, why do 4 or 5 of them? Do 30 of them, right? Yes. Yeah. Bring those buyers to you. Bring those clients. Bring those potential buyers and sellers to you. And so a lot of agents, they don't do it the right way. Hey, I'm going to do it on Sunday from 2 to 4. I'm going to put out 4 signs. Well, hey, you're probably only going to get, maybe one person in there, maybe 0, right? And so if you're going to do it right. And then so number 3, it's hard to be away from your family, and I get it, the time commitment, being away from your family. Whenever I was getting started in my business, doing open houses 7 days a week, I missed, soccer games. I missed football games. I missed, swimming tournaments. I missed barbecues with my friends. I missed pool parties, but I had to sacrifice, I had to do it. And, now I've got time freedom and financially freedom as a realtor. And I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I sacrificed and sold hard for 3 or 4 years while I built my revenue share organization at the same time for 3 or 4 years. It was like having 2 full-time jobs, right? Whenever I joined EXP, I saw the revenue share model where you could create all this passive income, but I couldn't give up on my sales, right? I had to keep the sales coming in to afford my lifestyle. And so I did both, right? And so I sacrificed hard for a few years. And I'm so glad that I did it because now, I've got financial freedom. I've got time freedom as a realtor. I don't have to do open houses. I don't have to sell another house ever again. But I choose to, I want to, because that's my passion. It's my livelihood. I love doing it. And it's fun to me. Right. And so, find that right open house, be committed, to really a full weekend. If you can, be committed to a full weekend. I'm not saying do it every single weekend for a month straight, but, find a good weekend and be committed, own that neighborhood, walk around, meet those neighbors, Get out there, and if you got a few hours before, knock the doors around them and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be doing an open house, down the street at 123 Main Street. Here's the flyer. Do you have any friends or family members looking to move into the neighborhood? Hey, I'm your guy. Whatever it is. And then also, just be committed. And the third one, be committed and sacrifice a little bit. Trust me, if you sacrifice a little bit, I promise you, if you really sacrifice and do a few open houses in the next 30 to 60 days, I promise you, you will have an extra 2 or 3 more closings in the next 90 to 120 days.
And that's 10 to 30 grand, or more, depending on the price point, depending on where you're at, right?
That's
Is
it.
that worth the sacrifice of a couple of days on the weekend, right?
That's it. Yep.
No, I love that. And going back, I love the fact that you're prepping for that open house. You're seasoning the neighborhood and knocking on doors. Say, hey, I'm going to have this. It's going to be a big deal. By the way, do you know anyone is looking to buy or sell? Are y'all interested? Because I've got buyers for this house, or whatever the case is.
Yep.
So I love that aspect. I love the aspect of choosing carefully the open house, right?
Yeah.
There is a plethora, and particularly, and I'm talking only to EXP agents right now, right? Because I know there's other folks, but because we have such a massive brokerage, and I think we just crested 9,200 agents. We're headed towards 10,000 agents in Texas.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hit that with you.
Oh, listen, we are going to do it big. We're going to have a party. It's going to be crazy. Anyways, don't distract me. I'm easily distracted.
Yeah.
So and what I love about that is that you mentioned, you'll drop in the San Antonio network and on our private internal group, you say, hey, I got this house, I need an open house, or vice versa. Hey, who wants to host this open house for me? And we have the ability to do that with EXP agents. So just being clear, right? From the EXP perspective, we shouldn't be hosting open houses for other brokerages because there's just so many of them. I mean, we're number one, number two in pretty much every single market that we're in. Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, you name it. So I love the fact of choosing carefully because you've got to pick up the litter, right? You looking for a home that is upfront. You're looking for a home at a specific price point.
Right.
So, and one thing I want to hit on as well, you said you're looking for kind of bread and butter homes. You're not swinging for the fences for these like $2 million properties.
Nope.
Tell me about that process, or how and how you came to the conclusion of, hey, bread and butter, $200,000 to $400,000 homes. Why?
Right. Well, you've got your buyer pool is such greater in that price point. Anywhere from about sweet spot. In San Antonio, 200 up until about maybe 400,000, 400,000 or so in San Antonio. 400,000 is kind of starting to get to the luxury market or so. But get to that sweet point anywhere from 200,000 or 300,000 or so. That is perfect. You have so many so many buyers out there all day long looking for that price range right there. And if you're set up correctly, you will get a ton of traffic into that open house at that price point.
I love it. So, we're intentional about every single thing that we're doing because we know that this is the time commitment. We know that this is a sacrifice that we're making. And the last thing I want to highlight as well is that it is a temporary sacrifice. So, what Pat's not saying here, that we have to sacrifice every weekend for the rest of our life. Right. And this can be a conversation with the family. Hey, listen, guys, dad, mom is really going to need to, pour into this thing, but it's only going to be for the next 90 days. It's only going to be for 6 months or whatever you decide. It's only going to be for 1 month. Hey, this month for the next 4 weekends, mom, dad is going to go hard on this thing and we're going to do this. And then guess what? This summer we're going to go on vacation. We're going to go to Hawaii. We're going to go to, wherever, because, and just make sure everyone's on the same page, get the family buy-in.
Yes.
That way you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel like you're missing something.
Absolutely.
So I think that's another big thing to add.
That's huge.
So wonderful. Well, oh my gosh, and I forgot, man. I'm so excited about this open house stuff. Please like, share, subscribe, everyone. Pat just gave us over $1 million worth of value in 2 hours. Who else is teaching you how to make $1 million in 2 hours? Right? Goodness gracious. If you're getting value out of this, I know I'm getting value out of this. I've been typing. I've got a whole page full of notes already that I get to learn from the incredible legend Pat Hayes. But I'm sure you're getting value as well. If you are, smash that like button, share, subscribe, and then hit the little bell notification icon. We go live every single week at the same time, so make sure that you smash that for us. Pat, what else we got? let's switch to listings a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Talk and take us through that $3 million to that $12 million. What did you find to level up, or what strategies did you use to take it to that? Goodness, that's like 100x. That's not even
Yeah.
10x, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
100x.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so for me to get to that, 3.2 to that 12.5, of course, I kept on doing open houses. And I was investing a little bit of money into Zillow, Realtor.com, because I had a few people say, hey, you know what? Now that you're making some money, your team's growing. Feed your agents some leads. And so I was doing that. I was taking a few listings from some of those leads. Majority of them were buyer leads. But some of those buyer leads eventually turned into listings as well too. And so just kind of a domino effect. Just be so busy in doing real estate, right? Doing real estate. I mean, I would be at the gas station. I would hand out cards. I would be at the grocery store. I would wear my name badge. Don't be that secret agent, right? Don't be that secret agent. Wear your name badge and wear it proud, and have business cards or electronic cards or wherever, right? Always be marketing, right? I know it's kind of everybody says that always be closing, always be marketing, but that's so true, right? That's so true, right? And so don't be that secret agent, right? And so take as many listings as you can, have as many open houses with those listings, have as many signs in the yard with your headshot and your number on it. Start getting some of those buyer calls, those sign calls. Flip those over to your buyer's agents. Let them work those buyer calls. 9 times out of 10, that buyer may want to sell first before they buy. And so then I get another listing, and then I do another open house, and I have another sign in the yard. And so it's just seriously a domino effect, but you've just got to start somewhere, right? You've got to start somewhere. And a lot of agents don't have a listing. Just start with somebody else's, right? They would love for you to do an open house at their listing if they didn't have to do it, right? And so start there, and trust me, it's just a snowball domino effect. And trust me, you will have so many leads that you may not be able to do open houses for a few weeks or a few months because you're out there showing, or you're out there taking listings, or whatever it is, right? But just stay busy. Stay busy, be busy. Don't be that secret realtor. Let everybody know that you're in real estate, right? A lot of these new agents that I talk to, I said, hey, listen, do you have your name badge? Do you have your business card? Hey, did you send out a text message or an email to your sphere? They're like, well, I don't have a sphere. I said, get out your phone. How many contacts do you have in your phone? That's your sphere right now. We're going to start there. That's your low hanging fruit. Text everybody, call everybody. Hey, I just got my real estate license. I'm with EXP in Texas or in San Antonio, whatever market, Houston, Dallas, Austin, whatever market. Hey, listen, are you looking to buy or sell? I'm so excited. I want to help you. If you're not ready yet, hey, let everybody know that, I'm a realtor down here with EXP, and here's my card, or here's my electronic business card. Send a picture of your business card, send it to them. Just be excited, right? If they see you excited, they'll be like, wow, okay, this agent's, Pat's super excited about real estate. Okay, whenever we're ready, or whenever I hear of somebody looking to buy or sell, I'm going to think of Pat because he got me excited. He got me excited that he's excited, right? And so trust me, the referrals will start coming in from your sphere, from your past clients, right? And I still get a lot of referrals from my past clients. Clients that I sold houses to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago whenever I first got into the business, right? My first, that buyer that I was telling you about, that first buyer that I closed that came up to me and approached me whenever I was pulling up those open house signs and I sold him the house, he still to this day sends me buyer and seller leads because I took care of him, right? I took care of him. And it was a great process, and I took care of him, and his family loves their house. And, it was a crazy story, but, it took me 6 months to finally close on their house because the house that I actually first showed them, was the one that they really wanted, but he was a typical buyer. And the wife said, hey, let's go look at 2 or 3 more other houses this weekend that may have open houses. And I said, hey, listen, that house is probably going to be gone. It's only been on the market 2 or 3 days. They didn't listen to me. And we went ahead and looked at 2 or 3 other houses. Well, on Sunday, they wanted to write an offer on that first house that they liked. Well, it was already under contract. Yeah. And so then we had to write an offer on another house. And they actually ended up backing out during their option period. And luckily, their first house, the buyers backed out during their option period. So we actually got to contract on their first and favorite house. And so I put up with them, right? Most agents probably would be, oh my goodness, this is a crazy buyer. But I put up with them, and it took me 6 months to close my first real estate transaction And it was the hardest $3,200 I've ever made in my whole entire life.
but look at you now, right? And
Yep.
the referral business, and they're keep continuing to send you referrals, and they're
That's
still
it.
in your sphere. So
Yep.
that's it.
That's it.
The,
Yep.
the money is in the client. The
It
money is
is.
in that relationship every
Yep.
single time, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Wonderful, Pat. So let me ask you, as we kind of get ready to wrap here.
Yep.
Starting from scratch, if you had to start all over again, right? Starting, you're not Pat Hayes, you're not this legend. You're little Pat Hayes, starting with the real estate license today. What advice do you have to that person? What advice? What do you wish that you had known getting started?
Yeah. And so, be all in. I talk to a lot of these agents, and I get it. They're trying to leave their corporate America job, and they got their real estate license, and they're kind of trying to do it part time. I get it. And I'll help those agents out. But be all in, man. I was all in. I didn't want to go back to corporate America. I wanted to make my real estate career work. I just had lost that money at that investment, and I didn't want to have to go back to corporate America and be in medical sales like I was for 6 years in San Antonio. And so I was all in. I said, hey, guys, friends, family, I'm going to be missing barbecues, swimming meets, parties, events at night
for a season.
Yep. Because I'm all in. Right. And so be all in your business, and trust me, it will pay off. And just don't give up. Right. Don't give up. I could have given up. It took me 6 months to close my first real estate transaction. I was like, oh my gosh, is this really the industry that I want to be in? Oh my God, this is crazy. Right. But I never gave up. And have fun. Right. So be all in, don't give up, and have fun. If you're doing it, why not have fun while you're doing it? Right. And so, yes, it can be, ups and down. They call it that roller coaster income, where you have, one closing 1 month, and you have 6 closings 1 month, and the next month you have 0, 0, 0, then maybe 1, 2. It's that roller coaster income, right? But have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
And just enjoy it, and just don't be that secret agent, and tell as many people, that that you're a new realtor, or that you're a realtor, and you're looking for referrals. You're looking for buyer and seller leads. You're wanting to help people out in the community. And guys, I've sold some of my best clients that I've met at open houses. I've sold them 4 or 5 houses, right? Where they stay in them
open houses don't work, right? They don't work, Pat. They don't work.
Yep. Where they don't, I meet them at an open house. I sell their house. I help them find another house. They stay in it for 2 or 3 years. Then they want to move to the other side of town, so I sell them that house, and I help them buy another house. And then they stay in that for 2 or 3 years. They're ready to downgrade because the kids left for college. So I sell that house and I buy them another house. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, I've got a handful of clients that I've met literally at open houses that I've sold them 3 or 4 houses in San Antonio.
So we're in a market shift now, right? And it's official. I mean, it's all over the news. Everything's shifting. You're starting to feel that pinch. Has that changed your strategy at all, Pat? Or are you just doubling down on what you've been doing?
Double down. It's how bad, a lot of these agents, they're like, oh my goodness, the interest rates are too high, and my buyers don't want to buy right now, whatever. Hey, move on, go find another buyer, right? Trust me, there's buyers out there, right? There's buyers out there. So don't let the noise of social media and the interest rates dictate your outcome of being successful, right? How bad do you want it, right? A lot of those agents, they're going to either get out of the business or they're going to go part-time and go have to find a full-time job. Right? If you want to be full time, this is your time to capitalize on that market share. If they're getting out, this is your market share now, right? Own your city, own your neighborhood, own your neighborhood where you live, right? And so a lot of agents, they say, well, hey, where do I start? Wait, start where you live, right? Start where you live.
Go outside.
Yeah, go outside. Go outside. Get some business cards, dress up, and go outside and knock on doors and hand out business cards, right? And so, it's just, go all in and have fun with it all, because trust me, I promise you, if you do that and you be consistent and persistent, it will pay off big dividends for you.
I love that. And it's funny you mentioned that, up and down in that roller coaster. I would add one asterisk there, and that is that it's like that for most agents. But you and I know that there's a better way. And anyone that wants to know about a better way, they can reach out to Pat Hayes or reach out to myself. But it doesn't always have to be like this.
That's right.
So Pat, final question here. That's for those new agents, brand new starting. Hey, I'm starting from scratch. What do I need to know? All in. That's your advice to them. What about those agents that are looking to take it up a level? They're looking at 10x, 100x their business. Maybe they're capping. Maybe they're doing okay at their current brokerage. They're doing a dozen deals or so a year, but they're not seeing the success that they really want in their real estate business, in that they thought that they were going to get kind of in this business. What's your advice to them? Because I know you got a bunch of them on your team as well, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, great question. I love this, and I love to guide agents, the right way. Is if you can afford it, hire a coach. Hire a coach that's somebody that has either done it, that's scaled and multiplied their business, or they teach how to do that, right? And so, or go make friends with another agent. It doesn't have to be with EXP, and I've got a success story on that too. Whenever I was looking to go from 12 or 3.2 to 12.5. A rock star agent in San Antonio with Keller Williams, Patrick Conway, great buddy of mine. He was crushing it. He was absolutely crushing it. And I'll never forget, towards the end of my first year, I set an appointment to go meet him at his office to figure out how he is, because he was famous for taking his business from $3 million to $33 million in 3 years. That was his claim to fame. And I said, hey, man, I want to learn how to do that. How do you do that? And he coached me for free. He said, hey, man, you need to do this. You need to do this greatness tracker. You need to track your leads. You need to, from 9 to 11, you need to make your calls. You need to do all this kind of stuff, right? And he kind of gave me the blueprint for free, right? And we're still to this day, we're great friends. I wish he was over at EXP, but he's not. But he's crushing it, right? He does like $60 million a year in production with Keller Williams on his team in San Antonio. Great guy. And he's been doing it for a long time. And I actually got a chance to, do a deal with him my second year in real estate. And we became even better friends because it was such a smooth deal. And so still to this day, I can pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, man, how you doing? How's business going? What new things are you implemented in your business? He's a core coach now with the core. And, he gives me all this free advice, right? And so don't be afraid to go out there and meet other realtors. They're not your competitors. We're all in the same industry. There's enough houses for all of us to sell, right? So go be friends and meet these other realtors and figure out how they did it. Patrick, I asked him, how did you take your business from $3 million to $33 million? And he gave me the exact blueprint for 2 hours at his office by the end of my first year. And I did that, right? I implemented a lot of those strategies, and I'm forever grateful for that and for him. And he's just a giver, right? He's a coach and he's a giver, right? It doesn't matter what brokerage firm you're at. He wants to give and give back and help everybody out and be successful.
I love that. And I know that you're just as generous, Pat. I know that you're, just as passionate about helping people get from where they are to where they want to be. How can agents that are looking to take that next step, that are looking to level up their business at any stage, how can they reach you and find out more information?
Absolutely, guys. Well, if you're with EXP, you can hit me up on the workplace chat. If you're not with EXP, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger, Pat Hayes. Hit me up, add me as a friend or whatnot. Or if you want to reach out to me via cell phone, 210-693-8711, 210-693-8711, or my email address is pat.hayes, HAYS, @exprealty.com. Either one of them.
Love it. Y'all know as well, reaching out to me, just as simple. If you want to hit me, EXP agents, of course, workplace chat, hit me on workplace chat. You know where to find me. Anyone else, LinkedIn. We're streaming on LinkedIn as well at Tony D. King. And that's how you can get a hold of me there. Any parting thoughts, Pat Hayes? Thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm excited. It's a new year, guys. We just ended January. The first month of the new year is over. Hopefully you guys are staying true to your goals. And it's February 1st. It's a new month, and guys, just get out there, crush it. This is going to be a great year. Don't worry about the noise out there, about the interest rates, about the buyers and sellers, the market shifting and whatnot. How bad do you want it, right? How bad do you want to ask yourself? How bad do you want it? Go out there and dominate that market that you're in right now, and make 2023 the best year you've ever had.
That reminds me of a Zig Ziglar quote. I'm a Zig Ziglar fan. When he talks about the bumblebee, right? And bumblebees, per the laws of physics, bumblebees are not able to fly, right? Because of their body weight, their distribution, and their wing size. It is physically impossible for a bumblebee to fly by the laws of physics. But the good news is that bumblebees don't know how to add. They don't. Bumblebees never study physics. They just know I gotta go, right?
Yep.
They just fly. So be that bumblebee in your business. Don't listen to all the naysayers and all the weird stuff that's going on in the market. Forget about physics. Just go fly. Go do your
Love it.
thing and be that bumblebee. As always, y'all know when we close this out, you're right. You are right. No matter if you watch what Pat said and you're listening to what he says and you're saying, look, there's no way that I can go and do an open house and make $1.1 million in a 2-hour period. No way that's going to work. You're right. You're 100% right. That's not going to work for you. Go sit down and go do something else, right? If you're looking at this, if you're watching this and you've seen this incredible journey that Pat's been on and you see his success and say that won't work for me, you're right. However, you're also right if you believe the opposite. If you believe, hey, Pat can do it, so I can do it. Tony did it, so I can do it. All these other agents are crushing it, so I can do it. You're right. All you got to do is, again, plug in, connect with one of us. We're happy to help you get from, again, where you are to where you want to be.
Love it,
That's
man.
it. Thank you all so much. Again, thank you so much, Pat. We need to have you back, brother. This was too good to end in an hour, bro.
Thanks,
we got to go
deep. I know we could talk for 2-3 more hours, but Tony, thanks so much for having me. I truly enjoyed it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Everyone else, have a wonderful, wonderful day and a great week. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks, Tony.
Bye.
All right. Bye.